We saw the best of him when he was at Dortmund, and I think that this would be a great thing for him to do, to go back to Dortmund and be that man, and maybe we can see the best of him of why he was so highly rated as one of the top players, young players in world football at one stage. So it's a club that he's going to be familiar with. He's going to be familiar with, obviously, the area, facilities, and it will make him be more comfortable. And hopefully he'll be back on the pitch and doing what he did before.
Why do you think Eric hasn't?
Yeah.
Eric Ten Hag hasn't done that. Is it because maybe he would lose respect with some of the other players in the locker room?
Yeah, because he's come out there and put it out there. Managers, I've seen managers do this before. Is it cut your face to spite your nose?
Cut your nose to spite your face.
That's the one. There you go. I got it the other way around. But yeah, it's this whole argument for me. And I'm with Jadon Sancho there. As a manager, Ten Hag was one who put this on Front Street, who made it very public. He's not here because X, Y, and Z. And then you get upset when a player defends himself, and then you want him to publicly apologise. And then obviously he hasn't apologised. And now you're in this situation. And then now you as a manager is finally being questioned to say, what games do you see when you see Manchester United perform? You know, they're struggling. There is no identity still there. And it's just such a mess at that
My
point.
issue is if he can help the team, Eric Ten Hag, what kind of look, how would it look if he were to sort of like go back on his take on Jadon Sancho and say, actually, this is a player that can help us perform? And is that a bad look for a manager to kind of, I don't know, change their mind, change their tune on a guy? What does that say about him?
I will say, for players in the locker room at this level, it's one thing only, and that's to win. You got to win.
They need to win.
But at the same time, you can't jeopardize your character.
Your leadership.
Your leadership. And so now it's a battle of egos. And this is what happens when you get to the Manchester Uniteds of the world, Real Madrid's, Barcelona's, the top clubs in the world. You're dealing with big egos. Now, for Jadon Sancho, he's made his statement. I'm standing by who I am. This is what I think I should be doing. You're not allowing me to play? Fine. For him to go to Dortmund, I think that's great because he's going to be playing. And Dortmund need They need him.
Time with the Champions League as well.
On top of that, Gio Reyna now, who's not playing at all, you for sure ain't gonna play.
No.
So there could be a trickle-down effect, in terms of where does Gio Reyna end up now? Because if he's not finding the field, and then you're bringing Jadon Sancho now to add another attacking option, I think the days are numbered for Gio Reyna at Dortmund.
Speak on specifically Jadon Sancho's position, because I took the stance that I like when a player stands on business. I like when a player says, like, no, I'm not going to continue. I'm going to allow you to, I'm going to try my hardest in training. I'm going to do all the things you want me to do. But if you're going to speak publicly about the situation, then I'm also going to speak publicly about it. I've always backed a player who wants to back themselves, because at the end of the day, you got to back yourself in your career. But why has that not worked? Especially someone like you who wants in the future potentially to be a coach. You've coached some of these young players. That stopgap, is there a way to bridge that gap once a player outs that he also feels?
Yeah, as a player, you got to bend the knee.
No.
Hold on, let me
bend the knee.
Traditionally, don't they say when it's player versus manager, player usually wins?
No.
Right? Manager usually gets the out. The superstar player sticks around.
No. The problem is Sancho hasn't performed. He has no leg to stand on at Manchester United. So the fans are not going to be like, oh, we need him back, because he hasn't performed when he's had opportunity. So in this situation here, Eric Ten Hag is always going to win. So that's why I always say, pick and choose your battles very carefully. And for a manager situation, it's all about dominating. I've been in that situation. I had a run-in with one of my managers, one notable club.
Get out of here.
Don't forget, Anthony was brought in as well.
I know how difficult managers can be. And when a manager wants to destroy a player's career, wants to cross that line, they will go all in. Trust me.
Did someone try to destroy your career, Nige?
He tried, but it didn't work.
Does the manager's name rhyme with Barton?
Anyway,
Barton O'Feel?
Yeah.
Is it rhyme?
I have no idea who you're
Look at you now.
But it didn't work.
All I know is...
Do you know what? Just before we go to bed, I'll say a story. So an incident happened. Then it was reported I was suspended and fined.
Oh, he's triggered. Here we go.
Here we go.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I was suspended and fined, but, there's ways around it. I said, okay, well, if I was suspended and fined, I would like to see where the suspension was and fined, because I wasn't. If I was the aggressor. That's what some managers will do. They'll go all that way to try and destroy your reputation and career, and they'll stand firm.
If you saw this person right now, what would that exchange look like?
Plead the fifth.
I haven't seen you trigger like that.
Suddenly he American. He said, plead the fifth. I don't think you got that.
Dang.
Hey,
We struck a nerve.
Tell us in the commercial.
for real.
I know. We're gonna have to dive into this
I can
further
see
at
the
some
heat.
point.
Would you
The
say
heat map.
flirting? Flirting O'Beal?